Manchester United are looking to appoint Ruben Amorim as their next head coach, but what could the Portuguese tactician bring to Old Trafford? In this video, we're going to be breaking down Ruben Amorim's tactics and looking at how he could set up Manchester United to take them back to the top. For those who don't know, Ruben Amorim is the current manager of Sporting Club de Portugal. He has a managerial win rate of 71%. Now that's not bad at all, and currently in the Portuguese league, Sporting Club de Portugal currently have 9 wins under their belt out of 9, having scored 30 goals and only conceded 2, which obviously gives them a goal difference of plus 28. So not bad credentials at all, but how would he set up his side? Sporting Club de Portugal play with a 3-4-2-1 system. This encompasses 3 main centre-backs, 2 almost holding midfielders, 2 main wing-backs, 2 attacking midfielders, and a main central striker. But if we were to delve a little bit deeper into how Sporting's system plays out, it would look something like this. We're going to break it into 4 different chunks. We're going to first look at the centre-backs and the role that they play, then we're going to move forwards and take a look at the midfielders just ahead of them, the 2 wing-backs that are on either side, the 2 attacking midfielders, and of course the main striker. So beginning with those centre-backs, you're going to see Ruben Amorim's side dominate the ball. They average 65% possession so far. They play a very high aggressive line. This is to keep themselves protected with that offside trap, but also making sure that they're able to pen teams in with their dominating possession. The possession is based around splitting centre-backs to give better passing lanes. The width that is created from this allows them not only to create passes in towards the centre of the pitch, but also out wide, leaving ability and room for players to really then make long passes through into the central striker to bring down and bring others into play. Looking ahead, we have the 2 main defensive midfielders or central midfielders. One operates in a role that is more of a destroyer, a more destructive role to break up play. The other is more of a hybrid, passing the ball through and then even joining up with the attacks when they need to. The 2 wing-backs are then looking to get really high and wide. A key point of Ruben Amorim's tactics is actually having really aggressive, really high wing-backs. This creates almost a break within the side, having almost 5 defensive or midfield players and then having 5 attacking or forward-thinking orientated players, splitting it in half, allowing for a balance both attack and defence. So if any kind of counter-attack comes through, it can be stopped by the 5 players while also creating a lot of attacking importance through those 5 attacking players. When we look through the centre of the park, we have 2 attacking midfielders. This is both on the left and the right hand side, and it allows for interplay, but also it creates a nice rounded box system that we know from a lot of the times in the Premier League. It's become a very popular system, and Ruben Amorim is utilising something like that for his Sporting Club de Portugal side. Both of these players are able to go out wide but also drift infield, linking up and making blindside runs to be able to push the opposition defenders back a little bit. This creates space in the centre of the park and allows them to create that interplay. This all leads up and links up to their main attacking threat in the form of Victor Gyökeres, but the role of the main striker is not only to create attacking runs down the channels to be able to create space infield, but it's also obviously to get on the end of passes. And this is a very small breakdown of how Ruben Amorim's Sporting Club de Portugal side plays out. With a lot of different roles and a lot of interplay, they are a very exciting, breathtaking team to watch with a variety of ways to break down the opposition. Let me try and show you what I'm talking about. So this is an example of Sporting Club de Portugal in full flow. And if we would just break down their current setup and build up here, I think it's really, really interesting. So first of all, from right to left, we have a centre-back here and we have a centre-back here. Notice how aggressive this centre-back is, and that's to really help develop the play, but also give a passing option for some of the midfielders. The 2 centre mids are here and here, and they're occupying play just to try and be those buffers to be able to help the play progress, but also making sure that they're defensively resolute going the other way. We have the two attacking midfielders here, and they're currently having interplay to try and build up through the centre of the pitch. You've got your main striker, obviously in Viktor Gyökeres, and you've also got your wing-backs in the right wing-back, and of course you've got the left wing-back. So this is how the team breaks down, and as we're going to see this play out, you've got one of the attacking midfielders passing to the other, but it's the way that they have that interplay going forwards that I think is really, really impressive. The ball gets played into Viktor Gyökeres, who then lays it off towards the other attacking midfielder to then progress forwards and drive through the centre of the pitch. It's this movement and running off the ball that is so good from Sporting, that allows for that dynamism, and it also gives them that real attacking intent going through the centre of the pitch. It just so happens that Trincao in this particular instance manages to cut in onto his right hand side, and look at the run from the right wing back. Now he should have played him into this particular scenario, and it probably would have been an almost certain goal. He decides to go for the shot himself, but you can just get a good example of the attacking prowess that is in this Sporting side. Let me try to give you another example of the rotation and the running off the ball that really happens within this Sporting side, and then we can start to take a look at how that could affect a Manchester United side going forwards. So in this particular instance, you've got the attacking midfielder out on this right hand side. He's swapped positions currently with the right wing back, and this is normal, this is fine. It's all about occupying the correct positions of space to give a balanced outlook for your side. So if we were to break this down, you could see 1, 2 attacking midfielders and another wing back on the other side who has just come in. You've also got the striking run of Viktor Gyökeres to try and create that space, but let's just take that forwards just a moment. So Viktor Gyökeres is making this run, and this drags away a defender. It not only drags away a defender, but it also lowers the defensive line of the opposition. This naturally gives Sporting a load more space in the centre of the park to allow them to then operate in. As you can see, the ball is currently being played from the attacking midfield through into the centre of the pitch. But notice these lanes. You've got 1, you've also got 2, and you've even got a third coming back on the other side of the pitch. This is so good, and it's about attacking space. Having the bravery not only to play this pass that he's doing right here, but also to take that space from the other midfielders. As it gets played through, it comes here. And then what I want you to notice is this player, because he's going to make another decoy run off the ball, and this is going to drag away this defender. And remember what I said about moving that defensive line back again to create that space. Automatically, what have you got? You've got a load of space here. This is so good, and it's down to the movement off the ball from the Sporting players, and it's all been instructed by Ruben Amorim, and this is how he starts to orchestrate attacks. And we can slowly start to see how this could fit in with the Manchester United side. Look at this run here. You've then got a player that's asking for the ball. You've also got an option for him to drift in field and take a shot, and that's exactly what happens. As the play gets taken away, you've got a player who's made that decoy run, and all of a sudden he's got a load of space to operate in. He takes that shot and he actually scores from it, but it's all in the making, from his teammates to the movement to the space that he's able to really be afforded. It's absolutely brilliant. From a defensive point of view, Ruben Amorim's Sporting Club de Portugal operate in a 3-2-5 pressing system. This allows them to really be aggressive and start to press the opposition into their own box, utilising the 2 wingbacks to go onto their opposition fullbacks, and also utilising the attacking midfielders along with the striker to pin themselves in a positional man-based marking system to stop them from really being able to play out. It's then utilising the midfielders to jump when they feel necessary to try and win the ball back higher at the pitch. It's then utilising this turnover that gives them the ability to then play forward passes into the striker or attacking midfielders to help them get a better numerical advantage when going forwards. It's this dynamic play that has allowed Amorim Sporting to really start to carve out major opportunities while also being able to defend from a defensive perspective. Now let's take what we've learned and try to apply that to what Ruben Amorim's Manchester United could look like. As we did before, we're going to be doing this in stages and we're going to be starting with the defence. Andre Onana, I believe, will be the main number one for Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. I think his passing range is very good and his quality of control on the ball has been very impressive. Not to mention that he has pulled off some pretty good saves and his overall form has really improved. Going into the back three, I think you've got Martinez, I think you've got De Ligt, and I think you've got Lenny Yoro. We'll talk about Yoro and De Ligt in just a moment, but I think Martinez out on this left-hand side as a left-sided centre-back will be really, really important. And that's down to his composure, but also his left foot. It's really understated the fact that you need a left footer out on this left-hand side, and that's not just for passes out into the wing, but it's also for reverse passes and better passing lanes into the centre of the pitch. It just opens up a whole avenue of different passes out on this left side, and it just gives so much more to the dynamic setup I think Ruben Amorim will want from his Man United side. Matthijs de Ligt will be the really good sweeper option to be able to come and cover, but both of these players just sitting behind both of them. He's got a good passing range and he's not afraid to try and make those line-breaking passes into midfield. Lenny Yoro is a young player, but he's got a really good head on his shoulders. His quality and he's composed, and he's also able to really get in about and amongst the pitch and be that little bit more aggressive. It's this Manchester United defensive trio that I think you could see going forwards. Yoro is currently injured, of course, but if you wanted to have some kind of replacement, I could see a Victor Lindelof out on this right hand side, and I can also see a Harry Maguire, just if they wanted to try something a little bit different, but Yoro would be my original pick. Now looking towards the engine room of this Manchester United side, I'm of course talking about that midfield double pivot. I've gone for Manuel Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo. I think Kobbie Mainoo is an absolute gem of a talent, and it's his ability that can be able to go and help join the attack whenever it's necessary, but when it's not necessary, his ability to take the ball and beat a man is something that can really take players out of the game. Give him the ball and then try to make something happen along 10 to 15 yards to then lay it off to one of the attacking players. Next to him, I've got Manuel Ugarte. If you weren't aware, Ugarte actually played under Ruben Amorim at Sporting Club de Portugal before making his move to Paris Saint-Germain. It's his tenacious activity that allows for Amorim's side to really get the best out of his group of players, and he is absolutely sensational. He was bought for Manchester United for a reason. That's because he's fantastic at winning the ball back. Him coupled with Kobbie Mainoo, I believe, would be a match made in heaven and definitely would propel Manchester United forwards in this new Ruben Amorim system. The wing-backs were by far the most difficult positions that I had to try to choose from. Mazraoui and Dalot were the players that I've gone for, but I can very easily see Manchester United fans getting somewhat carried away and putting more attacking players. But we need to remember that Manchester United also need to be defensively resolute. They're not going to have the ball all of the time, and when that happens, they're going to need to make sure they're good in 1v1 situations. So I've chosen Dalot down this right-hand side and Mazraoui down this left. Defensive-minded players, yes, but unlocked with that capability of playing up next to those attacking midfielders later down the line. It's this further attacking mentality that I think would give Dalot a bit more license and Mazraoui the ability to really flex his creative muscles. We know that Mazraoui has previously played in a 10 under Erik ten Hag at a given point in time, and having that extra creative capability I think would help Ruben Amorim's Manchester United, not to mention the fact that they've still got these defensive players in mind, so if they wanted to try and switch for a more attacking formation or attacking player set, I think that could be an option. But I've gone from Dalot and Mazraoui. I could also see someone like Luke Shaw really working very well down this left hand side, or a Taro Malacia, even a Harry Amas. I could see him coming into the side as well, but I've gone from the stability point of view and a bit more of a defensive flexibility, but of course there's options to go a little bit more attacking. This is where it really gets exciting for Manchester United fans, because I'm talking about the attacking midfielders that could come into the side and play a similar role in this Ruben Amorim 3-4-2-1 system. I'm of course talking about the two attacking mids, and I've got Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. I think for the longest time people have wondered, how do you get both of these into a side and not have a complete imbalance in terms of defensive, attacking and just general all-around balanced play? Fernandes and Mount, I believe, can play together in these two attacking midfield roles, supporting the main striker, but also at the same time having that ability to go out wide. And remember what I said about that. Sporting do like to drift players in and out through these areas and rotate round. And this could be where your attacking players come in, whether it be a Garnacho, whether it be a Rashford, who I know is missing currently from this lineup. But I think Mount and Fernandes have the ability to both go out wide, but also play centrally. The interplay between both of them and the ability for them to move with one another, I think, could be the unlocking mechanism for this Manchester United side later down the line. And then finally, for the striking category, I've gone for Rasmus Højlund. He has a lot of similarities for me with what Victor Gyökeres is managing to do with this Sporting Club de Portugal side. Not only is he able to run the channels, but he's strong, he's defensively resolute, and he has that awareness and ability to hold the ball up when necessary. He's a raw talent, and I think he needs a bit of refining, but the actual skill set is there. He has an eye for goal, he can run with the ball, and he's also got an ability to hold the ball up and bring others into play. I think in a system where it flexes him a little bit more and allows him to get into the game a little bit more, it might just help him to really develop that skill set. We need to remember that he's a very, very young prospect, but he is a talented prospect at that, and leading the line with a bit more creative freedom in the terms of Fernandes and Mount, while also having those wing backs coming along and bringing crosses into the box, I can see Højlund really starting to come into his own in this new Ruben Amorim system. And there you have it, guys. That is how I believe Ruben Amorim could set up this Manchester United side. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on how you think he would set it up, and what do you think Ruben Amorim could do if he was to become Manchester United manager. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.